Yeah, I mean, we probably shot ourselves in the foot there, and that's why it was a bit late. I went to ask the referee about that red card. See the different interpretations of how you read it, and that was a massive effect on the game, because obviously it was our ball carrying it into contact, and then all of a sudden we were 14 men. So, but credit to the players. I'll give them credit, because the last 10 minutes, as good as the first half was, that last 10 minutes of defence with 12 or 13 players and 12 players was outstanding.
Yeah, they managed the game really well.
They did.
Slowed things down, didn't let Ospreys. They didn't really threaten, did they, to get back into the game?
Well, I mean, to be fair, it wasn't so much that we also slowed it down. I think we played the right way. That's why I'm glad they made Willie man of the match, because I think having his brain and his expertise at the back there, a bit older and wiser, was exactly what we needed on the field.
You talked about that red card, but how big a blow is that going to be now for the rest of your tour?
Yeah, well, I mean, firstly, we're going to probably have a look at it and see what channels we can go through to see, what the outcome is. But, we're no different to any other team. If you read, how many teams have got injuries or losing international players, or, in this competition over a period of 21 games, you're going to have to have contingency plans all the time. We lost 2 guys with HIA today as well. So, all of a sudden, we've got 3 guys that can't play next week. But, the challenge in this comp, and thing that I've spoken about many times, is you need depth. And luckily enough, we're fortunate we've got quite a lot of depth.
Yeah, not too shabby Springbok World Cup winning Springboks in this one, is it? But a fantastic start to the season. 3 games and 3 wins. You must be really happy with that.
I am, especially away from home. And you saw today, the Sharks lost, the Stormers lost, and if you look at touring sides, Edinburgh came to South Africa, lost. Ulster came to South Africa, lost. So playing away from home is tough, and any away win is a bonus. So to get away from beating the Ospreys, I mean, the Stormers were a couple of weeks ago, so they know how tough it is to play against Ospreys. So mission accomplished in terms of game 1, 5 points, but not taking anything from we've got Scarlets next week, and they've just come off a win against Cardiff. And a draw against Benetton, who've now beaten the Sharks convincingly today. So we're under no false illusions that next week will be as tough as this week.
Do you like playing the Welsh team? Do you like coming to Swansea?
I love Wales. I love Wales. I think Wales it's like South Africa and New Zealand, and they love rugby. They go anywhere, they love rugby, and they talk rugby, and they got. I spoke to a journalist the other day, and you guys play rugby from 5 years old, but like we do, that's the one thing. But history, but schools that are good in rugby, I don't know if they're as good as they used to be, and I'm talking about because things have changed. But I was a schoolmaster many, many years ago, and Monmouth toured, and all those schools came to South Africa. So I know that, as I said, Wales is. Everyone talks about rugby, and that's what I love about this country.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Good luck next week. Thank you.
Right, JJ.
Hi, Jake. Congrats on the good win. Some really great positives, like you mentioned, the start and the defense with 12 men on the field. Anything else that impressed you tonight?
Yeah, I think Willie impressed me. Just the way Willie controls the game. Some of the things you wouldn't have seen, you wouldn't have, obviously heard how he was talking to the players, how he took control, and I can't underplay the fact that we would have, as a squad, found a way to lose that game 2-3 years ago, and today we found a way to win it. We obviously got ourselves into that hole, which we should never have done in the first place, but the way that we finished that game off with 12, 13 men was something that I'm sure the team and the coaches will be proud of.
Looking ahead to next week, if David is unavailable, what are your options going to be at 12?
I'll pick my team this week and I'll give it to you, JJ, during the week.
Okay, no, thanks, Jake, and good luck for next week.
Okay, no problem.
Jake, it's Ashfaq here, how's it?
Yeah, good, thanks.
All right, man. That first half an hour, actually up to David's red card, was really impressive. That a couple of scrums was almost like mauls, the way you guys were driving them back. If you have a platform like that, you can only benefit from such a platform with your backline.
Exactly. And I mean, I think people underestimate the value that Wilco's had in our front row. I mean, I know Wilco, everyone knows how he can scrum, but he's doing it week in and week out, and then he's playing 65 minutes. So that's also a massive bonus for us, that he's not just scrumming and playing 40, 50 minutes. He can go to 65, which is fantastic, especially against a team like Ospreys who moved us around the field. So yeah, I think it was nice to see a guy like him putting his hand up and showing the forwards that his scrumming is obviously a massive part of our game.
And before the game, Jake, you said that Ospreys sometimes it's difficult to break them down. They're very good defensively and they make life difficult. Breakdowns, Tapurik and all those guys. But despite all of that, your backs particularly and just a general attack still managed to put phases together and unlock their defense in various ways.
Yeah, that's obviously, again, having Billy there and understanding about how we can move them around. But I think the turning point for me is when Ambrose obviously went through and scored that try from a turnover liner. That's the caliber of having a Springbok like Ambrose at 9. And that's why I think, that's why I didn't put the bench on. I just thought it was one of those games where even if players were tired, the fact that they were a little bit more experienced, a little bit more streetwise, they needed to stay on and finish the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brendan, now.
Sorry, Zunga, you surprised me. Jake, I just want to find out what happened at the end there. Was it because of the second HIA that you guys couldn't put a guy on and uncontested scrums?
Yeah, so what happened was Gerard failed his HIA and then Aluta got a yellow card. So basically what it meant is that next time there was a scrum, and we were probably fortunate that scrum only came in the 77th minute. That scrum could have come 5-6 minutes before that. And then it meant that you can't play with you can't play with 14 men because you've got a red card, so you have to play with 12 men. So therefore, Grubbies, who's a front rower, had to come back into the front row because you're not allowed to then put loose forwards in the front row. Stop teams from doing it deliberately. And it was I've never been involved in a game. I've been coaching for 42 years. I've never been involved in a game where put him on, take him off, no, leave him on, no, swap him, no. I've never, ever experienced that in my life. And then the captain comes off. And I don't know who took the captain off. I mean, I don't even think the ref knows how the captain got off, but he came off. So it was, I can tell you, it's the first time I've ever experienced that. And I don't think anybody knew for that 3 minutes how many scrummed and who needed to go and who needed to change. And I'm just fortunate that we got through that on the other side.
Yeah. Obviously, you're happy with the win. Discipline, obviously, those cards are concerned. But how do you handle it in a week like that? Because Alalutu's one was it's an accidental head clash. David's one, I suppose, is debatable at the end of the day. Yeah, and Elric's one is it's an attempted intercept. So it's not like it fell.
Well, I think, Brennan, I think you've just answered the question. That's exactly how I'm going to handle it. One was a mistake where the guy ran into him. The other one is debatable. And I'm not convinced that Elric tried to knock that ball down. He actually tried to catch it. So, I mean, it is. We can't change it. There's 2 yellow cards and a red card. So that is something we're going to have to learn. But I'm going to handle it just like that. Is if he catches that ball and we go through, then all of a sudden it's a great catch. You know, if Alaluta, someone tackles a player back into Alaluta's channel and he's upright because he didn't expect the guy to be standing in front of him 2 seconds after the guy got tackled. So, it's not a case of discipline. I really don't think that's because players are doing their own thing or they're not listening or they're shooting out of line or David carried the ball into contact to a 10 that's 5'2", David 6'4". So, that thing happens. I actually asked the ref if David hadn't put his arm out and the 10 had hit his head, would the 10 have got a red card? And the ironic thing is the 10 didn't go off. So, I've seen red cards. I've seen red cards, Brendan, and I can't argue with it. But, the 10 stayed on the field because, to quote the referee, because he got hit in the throat.
Yeah, same with other looters. The other guy didn't go off either. So, but yeah, thanks, Jake. That's it. I'm fine with that. Good luck. Thanks for the win.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, man. Thanks, Brendan.
Can you?
Thank you very much, Lunga. Good evening, Jake, and congrats for the win. In listening to the closer commentary, Jake, one of the commentators, I think it was Kaya Olungelo, they said something was said to Luto that he complained about Ali Luto around the 70th minute. Did he come to you and actually explain what was said to him? Because clearly he was quite unhappy with what was said, but I think it was actually not well dealt with the ref. Did Ali Luto come to and explain anything that was said to him?
No. I think Aluto, when he got a yellow card and saw the last 10 minutes unfolding the way it does, I don't think he's got energy to talk to anybody. I think so no, he didn't. So, and I didn't think anything untoward. I mean, when I asked the referee now, the feedback was very unfortunate. He was standing there, he got tackled. There was a player got tackled into him. And, but I don't think that there's something sinister about it. It's rugby, I just think one of the things they need to bring into rugby is it a rugby incident, yes or no? And if it's a rugby incident, then we can find a way in which it needs to be dealt with. But if the protocol is, is it foul play? Well, then you're going to get different versions of an answer. Because I mean, as I said, I don't think Alaluto's was foul play. I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make to you. So, was it an accident? Yes. Was it a rugby accident? Yes. But I mean, I'm not the lawmaker, and I'm not the guy that we can only handle the way it's been officiated, and that's why I said after this we'll have to look at it and go through the channels and see what we need to do, and then if it's going to be like that, we're going to have to adapt.
And I think with the HIAs in particular, when will you know the extent of how serious are these HIAs? Not just for the rest of the tour, but just from a Bok perspective, those are two Springboks who came over with HIAs.
Yeah, I think the HIA again. I'm not too worried about them. Failing an HIA doesn't mean you're out for 6 weeks. It might be 12 days, and if it's 12 days, then they'll be available for Springbok duty. But obviously, what I do know, which is given, is neither of them will be able to play next week.
Thanks, Lunga. Thanks, Jake. I think you partly answered the question I was going to ask in any event, is whether HIAs and injuries in general, how many players are definitely out next week?
Well, at this stage, those three. David with a red and 2 HIA guys. That's basically the feedback I have now, Jan.
Are you flying anybody in?
I am. I'm actually bringing in Devin Williams.
Thanks, appreciate it.
But I was bringing him in anyway. It's not now because I phoned him yesterday and told him to come through anyway because he's just come back from an injury.
Jake, Lunga, thanks a lot. Jake, one question. Do you meet beforehand with the referees? Because I also felt the referee rushed Ambrose Papi the whole time your scrum was going forward, and he insisted that Ambrose must play the ball. Do you guys talk beforehand, or is it just see what comes?
Yeah, Cole, we do. I'm not officially, and when you see him at the stadium, but you can imagine. You can imagine every coach is now running up to the referee, giving him a checklist of about 5-6 things to look at, and it's never going to happen where the referee goes, "Yep, and I've got it all," because those are things that happen on the field. I don't think, as I said to you, and I'm sure because the ref told me, he also said that last 3 minutes is something he's never experienced before either. So, you can imagine if you start throwing everything at a referee, it's very unfair. But we do meet. When I say meet, as in we discuss things, but I don't generally like to bombard the referee before the game with too many things because I think sometimes it derails the referee's preparation.
The second thing, some of the commentators called Kriel and your backline players Swiss Army knives. Are you happy with the number of Swiss Army knives you've got?
Yeah. Well, it helps nothing if you're sitting with a red card in the stands, Paul. So, but yeah, we're very happy where we are as a squad. We're very happy with the ability of players to play in different positions. We're happy with the way we want to play. We can change. We can change from massive pack to a running pack to a kicking team to a running team, and within the game as well, which is the ideal way to be able to coach is that you can actually orchestrate whatever patterns and whatever things you think are important as the game is unfolding, or change up what you decided in the beginning. So yeah, we're very happy with as many Swiss knives as we can have.